This is Alex. Trains 6 days a week, sometimes 7, tracks every rep, posts every session, tells himself he's all in. 12 months later, he's not bigger, not stronger, just tired. His lifts are down, his sleep is wrecked, and he's dreading the gym he used to love. Alex isn't lazy. He's living a story almost nobody talks about. And if training every day is your idea of getting serious, you might be writing the same script right now. At first, it feels amazing. Sore every day, so you assume you're growing every day. In the gym constantly, so it feels like progress. More has to be better, right? Skip a day, you'll lose it. So for a few weeks, it works. A rep here, a bit more weight there. So you push harder. Cut sleep to 5 or 6 hours. Keep grinding even wrecked, but your body doesn't run on motivation. It runs on recovery. And recovery is the first thing you start stealing from. Around weeks 6 to 10, things shift. Nothing dramatic, just off. Lifts stall. The weight that used to fly now feels heavy from rep 1. You need more warm-up just to feel normal, more coffee to get going, more mental toughness to finish what used to be easy. Sleep gets worse, wired but exhausted. The gym, your escape, starts feeling like another job. Researchers call this non-functional overreaching. You're still training hard, but performance is dropping and fatigue is rising faster than your body can keep up. The symptoms aren't usually dramatic injuries. They're unexplained performance drops, constant fatigue, lost motivation, and aches that never quite go away. And it's rarely just the gym. Work stress, family stress, bad sleep, they all stack on top of training stress. You're not just overtraining your muscles, you're overtraining your whole life. Here's what's going on underneath that. It's called central nervous system fatigue, a drop in your brain and spinal cord's ability to activate your muscles, even when the muscles themselves are still capable. During hard or prolonged training, your brain releases more serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. When serotonin activity rises relative to the others, it's linked to a higher perceived effort, lethargy, and less willingness to push hard. There's a specific mechanism behind it. When the ratio of certain amino acids to a compound called tryptophan drops in your blood, more tryptophan crosses into your brain and converts to serotonin, speeding up that fatigue. At the same time, hard training releases inflammatory signals. A molecule called IL-6 gets released from your muscles during long or intense sessions, crosses into your brain, and contributes directly to that fatigue feeling while affecting mood and motivation. Ammonia builds up too, and it impairs central nervous function on its own. There's also feedback coming straight from the muscle. Sensory nerves inside your working muscles detect mechanical load and the buildup of byproducts like lactate. When that signal gets too high, it tells your spinal cord and brain to pull back, reducing how many muscle fibers you can actually recruit. It's a protective reflex. It's also exactly why you feel weaker and flatter the more overreached you get. Do this long enough without recovery, and these short-term changes start becoming chronic. Persistent shifts in brain chemistry, ongoing inflammation, and a nervous system that just won't fully switch back on. Now, before this starts sounding like a diagnosis, it's worth being precise about what's rare and what's common. True overtraining syndrome, the severe end of this, shows up mostly in elite athletes pushing enormous training volumes for months on end. If you're lifting 4 or 5 days a week, that's almost certainly not what you're dealing with. What's actually common, extremely common, is the milder version, chronic under-recovery. This isn't a diagnosis, it's just math that doesn't add up. Poor sleep, plus work stress, plus training that never lets up, adding up to the same fatigue, the same stalled lifts, the same dread walking into the gym. You don't need a rare syndrome to explain how it feels to be like Alex. You just need 3 or 4 ordinary stressors stacking on top of each other with no recovery built in. That's actually good news, because it means the fix isn't complicated. So what changed for Alex? He didn't get lazier. He got smarter, stopped asking how much he could survive, and started asking how little he could do and still progress. Train each muscle 2 to 3 times a week, not 6 or 7. 10 to 20 hard sets per muscle per week, then stop. Rest 2 to 4 minutes between heavy sets, even when it feels slow. Walk daily instead of forcing high-intensity cardio when you're already fried. Protect 7 to 8 hours of sleep like it's part of the program, because it is. The science backs every piece of this. When weekly volume is matched, training 2 to 3 times a week builds just as much muscle as daily training with far less burnout risk. Compound and isolation exercises build similar muscle when total sets are equal, but compounds get you there in less time and with less overall fatigue. And muscle protein synthesis, the actual repair and build process, stays elevated for 24 to 48 hours after you train. Hit the same muscle again before that window closes, and you're interrupting the exact process you're trying to trigger. This is also why it helps to know the warning signs before they pile up. A real drop in strength despite trying just as hard, heavy legs even at low intensity, losing your enthusiasm for training, restless sleep, more nagging aches, or getting sick more often. 1 or 2 of those after a hard week is normal. All of them, for weeks running. That's your body telling you the math isn't working, and the answer isn't more grinding. It's a longer break and an honest look at training, sleep, and everything else stacking on top. If Alex's first chapter sounds like yours, you're not weak. You're just overtrained. Or more likely, just under-recovered. Either way, the fix is the same. Train smarter, not harder. Do less, but do it right, and let your body catch up. Thanks for watching.